Welcome back, dude and dudettes, to another wild episode of Send It Mate. We're here to talk about all things hunting and outdoors. And today, we've got something that'll keep your gear running smoother than a dingo's getaway.
That's right. Our show is brought to you by High Caliber, the gun and knife oil company that knows how to keep your firearms and blades in tip-top shape.
High Caliber is like the secret sauce for hunters, anglers, and outdoorsy folk everywhere. It's like the magic potion that makes your gun and knives happier than a dog with two tails.
You know, guys, I've been using High Caliber oil for a while now, and let me tell you, it's the duck's nuts. My rifle practically sings a lullaby when I take it out hunting.
And speaking of lullabies, ever tried sneaking up on a deer with a squeaky gun? It's a prime way to end up with no venison in the freezer. You'll be hungrier than a vegan at a bacon festival.
Absolutely. But with High Caliber oil, your gun will be quieter than a ninja in moonlight. You'll be stalking your prey with the grace and stealth of a mountain lion.
High Caliber doesn't just keep things quiet, it also prevents rust and corrosion, so you won't find your gear looking like it spent a season at the bottom of a creek.
That's right, and for you knife enthusiasts out there, High Caliber has got you covered too. Your trusty blade will slice through anything smoother than butter on a hot biscuit.
So, folks, don't let your gear become a rusty, squeaky mess. Head on over to highcaliber.com.au and grab a bottle of their oil today.
And if you use the code SENDITMATE at checkout, you'll get a special discount. I say again, use the code SENDITMATE for all your oil slick, stealthy hunting needs.
Thanks to High Caliber, you'll be sending it in style and silence.
So, gear up, oil up, and send it, mate. High Caliber, the ultimate oil for the ultimate hunter.
Yo! Welcome to another R-rated Send It Mate podcast. You pelicans, fire up. I'm Josh.
I'm Caleb.
I'm Couchy.
Let's do it, you motherfuckers. You!
R-rated.
Yeah, there's new pep in your step, Josh.
Mate, back on the beers.
Back on the beers. That is the key ingredient that's been missing from your life.
Bro, dead set. So I hadn't touched a drop for a while, and we went out to the deer count on the weekend.
We did.
And Caleb and I thought,
Minus me.
Let's just bounce over to Vic and see what we can come up with on some Crown land. So we drove over. We get in. We see a few deer tracks and things. We thought, let's crack a tinny while we're sort of having a bit of a break and whatever. And then a couple tinnies later, things started to get pretty interesting.
Yeah. I think you'd lost your tolerance to alcohol, I think.
Nah, it was fucking ripping, mate. We may have nearly crashed into a fence.
Oh, fuck.
Jesus.
But that's all right.
Come on, bro.
We weren't drinking at the time of the corner into the fence.
This was later on in the night. But yeah.
Yeah, go through your night. Because obviously you guys drunk called me, pretty much. You didn't drunk call me, but you tipsy called me. And it was pretty funny because you guys trying to work out how to actually hear me for the first 20 minutes of the conversation.
It was terrible, man. I tried calling you on Messenger for video, and it just, I swear I had it on loudspeaker, but there was no volume. Absolute rubbish.
Yeah, it was pretty bad. We called half a dozen times,
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah, I was having dinner.
Dinner.
Yeah.
Yeah, you need to stop
dinner.
and answer us immediately.
No,
That-
it was on silent.
that is disgusting.
Silent.
Silent.
Who does that?
Me.
At dinner?
No, it was on silent all day, actually.
Don't you have a watch that fucking vibrates when
No,
you phone?
I don't.
Oh, Samsung, that's why.
No, I can have a phone. I actually have a watch that could do that at home, but I'm sick of charging it every night, so I don't wear it.
Because it takes a lot of effort to
That's
charge your phone.
No,
you're
it's
not.
just
You're not
plain
like
nuts.
pedaling the machine to create the electricity to charge the phone, mate. You're plugging it into a wall and fucking letting it do its thing.
Do you have wall sockets? How else do you charge your phone?
You're like a little pedal machine, and you know, bit of copper wire and fucking.
But anyway, my phone was on silent, missed your calls, tried to call you back twice, didn't answer. You guys tried to call me again, didn't answer. And then somewhere in between that, we got a hold of each other.
We were parting
after
around this property, and yeah, we just wanted to hear from you. Let you know what you were missing out on.
Yeah,
Pretty much. We just wanted to rub it in.
all the good shit happens when I'm away. Every time.
It was fun though. I enjoyed that.
It was ridiculous.
Getting a little bit loose.
Zero hunting was done Saturday.
Nah. Well, by the time we finished up at the ADA, man, like it was lunchtime, like because the meeting went forever.
Yeah, it did. Yeah.
So
Dragged
obviously
on a
you
bit.
start a bit later because the sunrise is a bit later in the morning. So
Yeah.
you do get to the count a bit later on, and then the meeting is supposed to start at 9:30. That didn't start till like 10 because blokes are standing around talking about all the heads that they've dropped off /
Oh, there was a ripper red. Holy shit,
Who got that?
man.
Do you know?
can't remember his name.
Yeah.
Some bloke.
Can't remember for the life of me. I think it was private property.
Nah, if it was private
think
property,
that
he wouldn't drop it off there, would he?
No,
No,
they
just
show their
blokes
heads.
bring their heads just to show them off, bro.
Yeah.
Just a bit of a fucking measuring contest.
Yeah, pretty much. Look what I got this right.
There it is.
nice.
13 pointer. It's a nice red.
Not the biggest, but he's nice.
Not the biggest. There's some good heads there that people have got during the rut. So
Yeah.
Yeah. Not as good as last year, I'd say. This year's rut. But in South Australia anyway. But certainly more good heads. Not excellent.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. I don't know.
what's more annoying is the property that we counted on. There's a bloke who hung around because you can't hunt on the count days, but he booked in for the Sunday and Monday and hunted the same property. Nice fellow.
Yeah. Got a cracker, what, 230 maybe?
Yeah, be a 230 plus buck.
Yeah.
On that next day.
Yep.
Yeah.
Fuck.
After fucking blokes trawling over the whole joint counting deer.
Yeah. Just
Yeah. It'd actually be all right to count on the block you know you're going to hunt tomorrow. Because then you can, it's a bit of a scout as well at the same time.
Yeah, but then you got, like as Caleb said, you got like 10 groups of dudes walking around.
But then you'd go around the groups and start talking and be like, oh, what'd you see? What'd you see?
People
See
do
much?
that.
Yeah, and just to sort of get the feel of what's happening.
People
at the time.
literally did that, man. The second we got back to camp, after counting, some bloke came up with his clipboard and he's like, oh, you see this one over here? I'm like, no. Oh, do you see a couple of bucks in, like, over in this paddock?
Well, I think he was counting the paddock down from us and was asking if the deer that they saw pushed into our paddock.
Yeah, he didn't want to double up on numbers.
Yeah.
He was, but I also think he was just sussing stuff out, man.
Well, look
He's
at
got
you.
weird about it. I'm like,
Look at you were suspicious
cares,
fucking.
no, I was hell suspicious. Anyway, the joys of the ADA, which is
Anyway, we finished the meeting. We got late.
it's a lot of
And
lunchtime.
Caleb and
Went too
I,
long.
yeah, it did. But Caleb and I were procrastinating about, do we go to Vic or do we go book in to one of the ADA properties and hunt the ADA? And I was like, nah, fuck it, because you can't hunt today. So we were like, fuck it, let's just burn over to Vic, which turned out to be a longer drive than what we thought.
Yeah.
And we did scout a property, and it does have very promising sign, actually. Very, very promising sign. It was one of those things, though. We got in, we're driving around to basically just find, like, your pop holes or whatever. So we're pretty much just disturbing the area real bad with the car. So we're like, oh, well, we've got some knowledge for next time, but this time we'll head back to South Australia and go hunt private. That was my theory in my head anyway.
So what happened after he's come back?
This deserves a mention.
Oh, yeah,
So
so
we
we're
get-
telling the story. Fucking hell.
We get back on our way. I booked Jack's for Sunday. Anyway, we're getting late. There was another guy supposed to be booked in. He didn't come. Well, he wasn't there when we got there. So Caleb and I were like, oh, let's do a mad cook up because we hadn't eaten all day. And damn, it was all right.
Good video. We should post that when this episode's out.
Yeah,
The cook up.
Yeah.
Cook up.
yeah. Tell them what we.
Do you want to
had.
know what we had?
What did you have, Gabe? Sorry, I didn't ask earlier, but what did you have?
no. So I brought me goring noodles.
Yeah.
right?
yeah.
Because he's a cheap ass.
Because
No, but me-
Josh
me-
did,
me
you
goring's
did ask
universal.
me, what are you going to eat this week? I'm like, pretty much just cheap it, man. Me goring and like some backcountry. Anyway, so I've whipped out the me goring. Josh has whipped out some bloody lamb chops. So we're like, well, that's pretty good, like combo, lamb chops with me goring on the side. But then he's going, well, let's cook up some bacon and some egg and some cheese and add that to the me goring
With a little bit of hot
with
sauce.
some hot sauce.
Yeah.
So me goring, cheese, bacon, egg all mixed in. Lamb chops, nice and salty, cooked to perfection.
Bloody
Sounds
oath,
all right.
man.
It was
Sounds
fucking delicious. We'll post a video of it.
We had the fire. We're
Fire
just sitting
cranking.
there. Yeah.
Just in a hut.
Yeah. Just the two of us.
fire
Just
was
the
going.
two of us.
Didn't know whether this other bloke was going to rock up or not. So there's always that, like during the night I woke up because I thought I heard footsteps, but it was just like the rain dripping directly outside my window. I thought it was footsteps. Legit. I fucking turned the light on and everything. I'm like,
Well, this guy's fucking.
this guy's rolling in.
creeping.
What's the time? 4:30. Fuck. But no. It was good, man. It's
No, it
good.
wasn't.
Sweet.
Good
I
pasta.
slept like a baby that night too, man, in front of that fire.
I bet you did.
Yeah.
Of course, Josh decided to sleep basically on top of the fire.
Yeah, it's just usual.
I took the bunks.
Yeah. I'm like, nah, fuck yeah, there's 2 rooms. I'll have the fire. And you were like, yeah, no dramas. I'm like, cool. Freeze your ass off. Yeah, no, it was perfect. I'm definitely keen on hunting jacks again, actually.
Yeah. We've got
yeah.
it sussed.
Yeah, definitely got it. Like,
God,
worked
it's
out.
sussed.
Yeah.
That's what I'm
we didn't really walk that far, maybe 4 or 5 Ks in the morning, but found pretty much where they're all like, jumping in and out and where they're living in amongst the tea tree on the plots of the open field. So we did see 2 bucks, young bucks, I think maybe 2-year-old. I'm taking a stab at dark. Hey.
Yeah, I think at the time we said first year bucks. So
Yeah.
it's,
Be nice.
good property, man.
We'll have to head across.
You've been there before.
Yeah.
Where
Once.
did you go?
I'm struggling to picture the actual property itself.
So one half of it's like real, where the hut is like real bushy, and there's the other side which is real open and
Yeah, okay.
rolling
That's
hills.
over the edge of where the other place we go. Eh?
Our private
Yeah.
block,
Yeah.
yeah.
We tried a few different ways because we were there for 2 nights and 1 morning.
2 nights and 3 mornings.
No, only there for 2 mornings, 1 night.
Right.
Yeah. So what was our first one? We went to the gate between the dense and the open on the border of the high fence. And then we walked the high fence next to the place, the property next to us,
Hang on.
Wow,
South
towards the
side?
back of it.
east.
East.
Yeah. Unless we're thinking of the different property.
Crikey.
No, same property. But I'm trying. So,
I'm going to pull up a picture.
did you go northeast, like travel northeast?
Yeah, we went as you'd come into the property to the hut. So as you'd first come into the property,
Yeah.
we sort of, for the hunt, we kept going past the hut kind of thing.
Through the scrub.
Oh, you kept going and then out
right.
there.
Yeah, we went to I'm guessing that way's north.
Up
is north, that way.
Okay.
So we went to the east,
You
to
went
the border property, and that's McBride's. McBride's?
No,
No,
Brinkies.
Brinkies, the no hunting area. So we went to the east, to the fence, up to the fence that separates the
I
dense
getcha.
and the
I getcha.
open. And we walked west along the fence line,
The border.
the border,
Yeah.
for a bit, and then cut through sort of like the back and did a loop.
Oh, bro.
And then the next day we did it the opposite loop. And then the last hunt, we went down to this corner here.
Okay.
Yeah.
But we think that's a better night hunt.
There?
That around there is better night.
What?
And that was better morning.
You just judging off what you said, you walked around the deer from where we saw the
Yep.
population of deer.
Go on.
Like literally around the whole around the
Like
deer.
there was we cut through as well.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
Well, we went.
But we saw probably 4 deer for that whole trip.
Fucking hell.
But what I've kept hearing after that, we went there, and the guys that there was a couple of guys there that hunted
Oh,
as well.
yeah, there was.
They were saying that they hunt that all the time. And there's some weeks that have got nothing, and some weeks got heaps, and they reckon it's just a travel route.
Yeah, that makes sense. To be honest, there'll be deer living in the scrub though.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, 100%. Yeah,
That's about theirs where I almost left my pack behind. Because on the last day we walked back through the bush and in through here and then back to the hut.
that bush should hold some cracker heads, I reckon. Actually, see we spoke about this. I think
All this conversation is probably no good for listening to, but
Yeah.
it's good for us.
that's all right. We spoke about this probably a few days after you got back, I think, and the deer there, from what we saw, they're real spookish because it's like a first year hunting block. I think a lot of people might miss or hunt it a little bit incorrectly.
Yeah, I reckon.
And like the deer they were way more wary than what they normally would be.
Yeah, they didn't hang around.
Yeah, at all.
That's what we found when the 4 deer we seen, like they were moving before we saw them.
Yeah. Having said that, we definitely have at least 3 spots where we know they'd be if you could get in before first light
Bloody oath.
and just watch.
I know
That'd be
exactly where I want to set up next time. That's the beauty of it. Like, for anyone out there who thinks you just get something every time you go hunting, well, you don't. But the beauty is, once you get to know a property, you start to get to know the land and the little tricks of the place, and you know where to set up for next time, and it all gives you sparks ideas for next time and how you can do it better.
Wait a second, because you really could have shot some deer. The doe and fawn that were running across the hill, you could have smacked them, or one of the 5, 6 does that were in a gaggle.
There was three.
I counted 5.
There was 3 bunched up.
I counted 5.
I was looking at them through a scope. There was 3.
I was looking through my binos. I counted 5.
I'm going to say there's 4.
Okay, we'll
Just
meet in the
meet in the
middle.
middle. There's 4.
Well, that's an interesting scenario as to whether to shoot or not, because there were literally 3 lined up.
3 and 1.
And if it was like first day,
Yeah.
first day
Well,
of like 3 or first day of 2, probably would have just done it, because chances of you shooting multiple deer at once was pretty high because they were literally in a line behind each other. But day 1 of 1.
Yeah.
What do you mean? No. Wait, you passed up deer, actually. You can never have a go at me ever again for passing up deer, motherfucker.
I would have had a crack at one of them.
The fact it
if
didn't have a
was
clean
one.
shot. You've had
Didn't have a
like
clean
sitters. You've had sitters multiple times.
Mate, you could have just led just in front of that chest on that doe or the fawn.
Think about the ones that
pepping
were
across the
running across the paddock.
hill. They were trotting, slow trot.
They were fucking.
One of them was almost bailing up.
Well, the one that did bail up, didn't have a beat on, so no.
Were you bit on the doe?
I can't remember now.
Oh.
But
I think the doe pulled up, and I did look at you and go, "Oh, you were trailing the fawn."
trailing the wrong one. So I didn't get. But yeah, I could have taken a shot on the run, but I preferred to take one when they're stopped. I didn't have one in the scope when they were stopped.
Oh, just Hail Mary that shit.
So that was a
Send it.
pain.
Oh, they're a pest animal, mate. Just fucking put them down.
That was a pain. But
You're the reason why the chopper culls happen.
the other opportunity I had was 3 stacked. And you're like, well, if I took that shot, then I definitely would have killed the first one.
Let's not say definitely.
But say I had a clean shot of the first one, and that would have been dead. But then what's going to happen with the other 2 stacked behind it?
Yeah.
I'm either going to injure it or maybe kill them too. So then straight away we're processing multiple deer for meat.
Oh,
Yeah,
where?
That'd be a long day.
Where?
That would be a long day. On day 1 of 1. I would have happily done it day 1 of 2 or day 1 of 3.
No, we would have smashed out like 3 deer.
Were you both?
I don't think it's an ethical shot though.
you
If you've got 3 in a line, the bullet's not probably going to be
it's not the
doing
best
much on the
shot.
third one.
Beg the
All
question.
right,
to our
let's
viewers.
define this how they're actually sitting, because you got the one. I'm guessing it's broadside. The first one. Well, what's the first, second, and third? Where they're standing?
They just popped out of
Where's it
it.
lining
There's a
up?
pop hole in the fence, right? So they just come out of that. They're basically like, they weren't all broadside. So one was like, the first one was probably broadside. The second one was probably looking at me, and the third one was broadside again.
And were they just say chest lined up, or what? What's
It's hard. Well, it's sketchy now to remember that exact detail, but I remember thinking
so
at the
vitals
time,
weren't lined?
probably not.
Oh,
So I'm like, yeah,
not a great shot then.
wasn't a great shot.
You don't want to gut shot the third deer.
But
Or
you get to
second and third.
You definitely get to a point when deer aren't sitting at all; they're just running off, and you're just following them in the scope, not taking a shot. You definitely get to a point where you're like, "Fuck, I want to pull the trigger."
You know what? Amount of fucking bullets I've seen that stops on the other side of the body. You would only hit one.
Well, you're using Sierra Match Kings as well, so I actually think you would have been fine, especially because they were about 210 metres, maybe a little bit further.
You reckon it would have been just stayed in the first animal?
Yeah, it would have blown out, like there would have been a crook old exit wound, but nothing with an... I don't think...
So it wouldn't have stayed in the first animal?
Well, the bullet's breaking up, mate, so yeah, okay. Technically not stayed in, but it's not going to pass through like multiple.
Yeah, but you don't want to. That's the thing.
Don't wanna enter
that's
the
what I'm
second
saying. You
deer.
don't want it to enter the second one and not kill it.
Yeah, and I get that. And
You'd rather-
that's a wise choice, but I think you would have been pretty safe. I mean, my angle from you was slightly different.
Yeah, you didn't have the same angle.
So from where I was sitting, I would have been like, no, okay, you could easily sort of
Yeah, it's 3 separate deer.
keyhole through a bit of a window. But where Caleb was, no, different story, more than likely.
Did you have a rifle with you?
I did, but I was letting Caleb shoot. So.
Because you didn't want to shoot does.
No, I would have loved to meet Animal Man, but no, it was Caleb's turn to shoot.
So when Caleb thought, no, I'm not going to shoot.
No, they'd run off.
Oh, okay. All right. I was just double checking.
Yeah.
Well,
He's
I
in
was
front of him. Oh, no, you were behind me.
no,
at
I was
this
slightly
stage.
behind.
I
Yeah.
was just picturing Caleb be like, nah, they're lined up. They're not, like, yeah, there's no safe shot.
Like
And
this
then-
was all over and done with
Josh
in
is
a matter
like-
of a few seconds.
Well, I'm not shooting until a shot, man. Take your shot. Take your shot, man. I'm not shooting.
No, there's no opportunity. Nothing stopped. They stopped the longest because they just popped out. They had scrub in front of them. They just popped out of a fence. They were standing there like, holy shit, they saw me. And then they just like lingered and then fucked off. So then I
Okay.
followed them down the fence line. Well, I thought that's where they went, but no.
So, sweet.
No deer.
All right.
But
Fuck is. I'm just going to
Fuck, I
start
got the-
shooting from now on. Fuck is all.
get the property. I've got the property. No, next trip, man, go for it. I don't care.
We tell him this every trip, man.
I know.
Just
It's
let-
whoever's turn. Go for it. We can jostle each other. We'll push each other out of the way and fucking take a shot.
we're
next time.
going to be hunting next time, and then a deer runs out, and we all think it's our shot. And then
Yep.
the deer safely gets away.
Then you all shoot it and you're like, well, whose deer is it?
We can fucking do the ballistics.
Never know
analysis.
because we all miss because we're hurrying, trying to brace each other, and it just ran away.
Oh, talking about bracing, Caleb was rocking his new little fang-dangled gizmo rest mono.
Yeah,
I was
Go
going to
on.
ask that.
Yeah, no, you gave the hyperpod
How'd that
to
go?
a go, as we alluded to last week.
You had it attached, probably.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah. So very easy to attach, actually. So just took what I found was the sling stud screw that it comes with
Mm-hmm.
did not fit my sling stud screw. Like it's slightly
The
different
thread.
thread. The thread was slightly different.
Okay.
So I left my sling stud
in.
in, and then there's an attachment where you put a little
Yeah, that attaches
grub
to
screw
your stud. Yeah.
through,
Mhm.
and yeah, it's all sweet. So it attaches nice and firm. That was all good. Set it all up, nice and light. I originally was walking around with a sling just to test that out, and you can carry with a sling, no dramas. But then after sort of unslinging it and going to use it and back and forth a few times, I'm like, I'm just going to fuck the sling off because it's just one extra thing hanging off your rifle. But what I found was
You could use that as a sling almost, I reckon.
Correct. So, you know how we were talking about, you'd pretty much leave it set up so you can have it off your hip
Mhm.
at that length. That's what I did. I had it set up for that exact length where I could have a rest off my hip and then just carried it around, slung on my shoulder. So with the hyperpod in front of my shoulder and the rifle on the back, just like a sling.
Yeah.
And that was comfortable as
You
it.
just have to hold the hyperpod.
It's comfortable as fuck.
Yeah.
You look like a space cadet when you had it jammed into your thigh and walking around.
Yeah, you look like a fucking bionic man, but
I want to take that with me on Sunday if we're going to go to the range.
Oh, I'm going to the range no matter
Yeah.
what.
So I want to take it with me, but
Take it out to Churro when we go.
yeah, well, both my rifles are Arca rails now, which Michael actually messaged me today.
oh, you haven't got the attachment yet.
No, so Michael messaged me today and he said he enjoyed the podcast and he's listening to it,
Oh, good on him.
and he sent his condolences.
Thank you.
Thought I'd add that in.
Thank you, Michael.
So I said that, Michael. But yeah, so he's going to flick me over the adapter.
No, he's going to flick you over 3 adapters.
I don't need one.
No, it was just
Oh yeah, you're not up with the 21st century.
it was just the one adapter, man. And if you want it, you're going to have to pay me $50 and I'll pass it along.
Yeah.
No. So anyway, so once I get that, I'll be able to actually put it on my rifle.
That'll be good.
So
That'll be good.
It works. So I tried it in every position basically. So there was one time when I was glassing on a hill and I was sitting on a branch. So I extended it out for the perfect height for that.
you were sitting on a branch, or the
Sitting
rifle
on a
was
branch.
sitting on the
It
branch?
was like a low-lying branch.
So you were chilling, sitting down, and you extended
I was
it out
glassing
so you
on a
could just
hill.
like chill.
Glassing on a hill, extended it out so I could take a shot sitting.
Yeah.
There was a few times where I found the hip, like rested off the hip was good, was to just have it there ready, and to slowly go around some bush where you thought something might be.
You're pieing around bushes.
Yeah,
Pieing?
basically.
Yeah,
Yeah.
It's a military term.
Okay.
Pieing.
Yeah.
Okay. Pieing.
Yeah, it's like a doorway, and you got your rifle and your
Yeah,
pieing.
yeah. All right. Okay. Yeah, that's exactly what I was doing.
Yeah, yeah.
Ready for action. So that was really good, actually. I found that was cool. I feel like there'd be guys out there like, oh, that looks stupid.
It does look kind of fun.
It looked try hard. That's what it looked.
but it's amazing.
But
really.
it actually bloody
Sorry,
works.
I was talking about the pieing part.
No, not the pieing part. Just the fact you've got this, what
It's
looks like an
different.
oversized bipod.
But I think that's what it
Monopod.
is. I think it's a good mix between tripod, bipod.
monopod.
But like it's a good mix between the
It's a
two.
gun rest.
That's what I'm saying. Because it's sort of the capabilities of a tripod. I don't know, but I guess the versatility of a bipod
It's got
in
everything.
a way.
The way I put it down to is the capability. So offhand shooting, I'd be like, okay, personally, 100 metres, I'm probably not going to shoot further than that because of just my personal capability. With it, I certainly feel like you could shoot 200 like.
Well, it'd be good.
standing.
We'll test this out Sunday and actually I'm going to see if I can get my sling swivel stub back on it. But yeah, just to see the stability out
Yeah.
between up to 500-600 metres.
Yeah, I reckon you could easily. It was rock solid, really.
100%. It's really good. And yeah, it's one of those things where you're not going to feel 100% comfortable straight away. It's something you got to get used to because it's bigger than what you would normally attach to your rifle. I didn't find it heavy. I didn't find it cumbersome. It was just a new thing to adapt to. But when in use, like not that I took a shot, but when I had shots lined up or I was having a look through it, through the scope with that balanced on my hip or taking a standing position or whatever, it was, super stable,
Yeah.
which is what it's designed to do. So at the end of the day, you want to be able to take a stable shot. Who gives a shit what it looks like or if someone else says it's not cool or whatever. I don't care.
Looking good's half the battle, bro. So you're going to fail 95% of the time.
Mate,
That's why
I've
Josh
already
is
got a
always late.
suitcase strapped to the front of my body, so who cares?
That thing's ridiculous, bro.
So if anyone wanted to check out that Hyperpod, it's a Hyperpod 2 from Eagle Eye.
Eagle Eye hunting gear,
Yeah. Check them out.
as we discussed last week.
Yeah, but maybe new listeners.
Yeah, so
Like, what the fuck's this Hyperpod they're talking about?
Look at you two heckling for some fucking freebies.
well, we
Not
got
heck, no.
We got the
They're a product you'd pay for, man, because I'm happy to pay for a good product.
we were impressed, and now we've tried it. I didn't get a shot off, but
Now you got to blood it, you big girl. You just got to pull the trigger.
that's the thing.
Still maintain you could have shot those days.
It'd be handy for like daytime hunting for foxes, like walk stalk.
Fucking oath. I'd even use it on the 22, like just
Yeah.
do some pieing around some fucking farm sheds and shit.
Do enough pie to make you hungry. It'd be good. Yeah.
It was. You will enjoy it when you give it a go. It's like I said, it's just a bit to get used to because it's not what you're used to.
Tripods, fucking when you first got that, you're like, fuck. It seemed easier watching someone do it than to actually do it.
Oh, when Josh was trying to use his tripod in the high country, I was like, this looks like an absolute fucking carry on.
Because the tripod's bigger than him.
No, it was good. I just wanted to get a bit more stable platform. Just the shale, I just wasn't getting a good purchase on that tripod, really.
Tripod's more meant for your sit and wait kind of style rather than a stalk.
Yeah, it was definitely hard to set up quickly.
Yeah.
I'm like, fuck this. It's too hard.
Well, then you end up ditching it, but yeah.
No, I think I've sort of identified the scenarios in how I'm going to use it. So glassing, sit down, fucking set it up for sitting, pieing on the hip. So you're walking along with it there, ready to get up to your eye. And then if you're just walking along and something does pop up, I think the best thing to do is probably take a knee. So you have it extended out enough where you can just either put it on your knee and take the shot or put it on the ground and take a knee.
How did
kneeling.
you go? So you set up when you walk around for just standing as it attaches to your hip. If you knelt down on one knee.
It's around
How
about the
is-
same length.
Okay, so that you could utilize that as
Yeah,
well.
but I'm shortish through the torso, so it kind of worked for me. But it doesn't take much to just flip out an extra Oh, Jesus.
I was thinking the same thing.
Found an extra
That's why
length of pole.
I heard you were short in all fucking categories.
That's why I didn't buy a tripod.
Are you going to get rid of your bipod?
Fuck no.
No.
Why would you?
Why would I?
Well, are you going to rock this monopod permanently?
Depends on the scenarios.
Spotlighting.
But the thing about it is you can just take the bipod off the bottom and use that. But it's probably shorter than...
And how good is the bipod part?
Actually, bipod's quite solid. I was playing with that. It's not bad.
So just forks, and it's fixed. So you don't have as much functionality as my current bipod has.
And you can use them bipods as a front handle for like a
full grip.
Full grip.
So, yeah, I mean, it's got lots of uses, but I'll definitely still keep that other bipod for when I want to use that.
Yeah.
It's more lightweight.
You can never have too many bipods.
Yeah. Plus, I can put it on the 22 as well. I like that on my 22 better than the old Spiker one I got, which is pretty old.
What? Bipod?
Yeah, I've got a Spiker bipod.
Oh, do you?
Yeah. It's my first one I bought.
Oh, right.
Yeah. It's the same design as the bloody
Harris,
yeah.
You need to pick your brand, man.
Trying a lot of different things, aren't I, until I land on what I like. I like my bipod.
Yeah.
The Magpul one, just because it's so light and so easy to use.
Cool beans.
All in all, good trip, good piece of kit. Enjoyed it. See how you guys go when you actually get the chance.
Yeah, that's the main thing for me anyway. So when you send that over, Michael, the sooner the better. It'd be great. No, you got 10 days after Tuesday.
Fair cool. All right, well, we've prattled on for a bit. Did you want to do a joke or not?
Yeah, do a joke.
You got one?
Nah, you do.
You got one?
All right, what's the difference between a chickpea and a lentil?
I do know the answer, but send it.
I haven't had a lentil on my face. Just look, the cog's turning. You work it out or yet or what? Josh is trying to work it out. He's struggling. I think that's funnier
What's
than the joke.
the difference between a chickpea and a lentil?
I haven't had a lentil on my face.
Oh, chickpea. Oh,
Chickpeaing on your face.
yeah. Okay.
If you struggle with that one, how about see if you can get this one?
Go on.
I had some real awkward sex with a German girl last night. She kept yelling her age over and over and over again.
Oh, fucking hell. 9.
Oh, fuck.
I like that one.
You were cooked.
Very inappropriate, but
You want to hear another inappropriate one?
go. We like those.
I was driving the other day and ran over 3 disabled children. Cripple kill. It's going to get us cancelled.
That one's fucked, but yeah, that's funny.
Use it fucked.
Oh, Josh, go on. You got one, haven't you?
Nah.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah, where?
Beer ended up on the table.
Oh shit, I forgot how
Good
to
one.
drink. Anyway, we'll move on. We'll get into the
This
body
week's topic?
This week's topic. We haven't done a topic for a while,
No.
and we'll kind of do it a little bit differently.
We need like a topic groove as an intro. Like the ND, but like fucking this week's topic.
Just put a sting behind it.
Something. Anyway, continue.
Yeah, so we threw it out to the listeners to suggest some things to talk about this week, and we picked one. We bloody picked one. Hence why we're going to call this episode 5 Ways Fucked. And the topic to discuss is the proposed 5-gun limit in WA. As if WA are not imposing enough bullshit on their citizens at the moment. We have, well, they've just canned a heap of calibers you can't have anymore. And
Caliber list is quite long, actually.
it is quite long. A lot of obscure shit on there, but enough to annoy a lot of people that would use them.
There's some weird calibers on there. Well,
Yeah, some I've never heard of, but then again, it doesn't really matter what caliber it is. It's bad enough.
I think I saw the 350 wheeling, I think, on it. And I'm like, I don't actually know of anyone that has a 350.
Regardless of the fact.
Oh, But yeah,
Just because it doesn't affect you doesn't mean
Yeah,
it should happen.
no, but I mean, it was just a strange, odd caliber to sort of put on there.
It's because they were all classes high powered.
So
was the definition.
really, anything that breaks the sound barrier is high powered. Technically,
No, that's high speed.
yeah, it's high speed. But what is a direct outcome from speed?
equals power.
Well, the volume of power is required on mass. Then after that,
Okay, so what do you then define as mass?
weight.
Like a high powered mass. A 22 is quite capable to do a lot of damage.
No, that's like class that is powered, not high powered.
Hey man, use those high velocity
I
rounds.
don't know.
They
I'm
get
pretty
up
sure
there.
I see on a few 22 boxes high power, especially maybe from Winchester. So
Yeah, maybe they should take them
Right.
off because that'd be the next target from WA.
I don't know. I'm just saying.
Maybe. I reckon I could catch your subsonic 22 rounds.
They should name them non-scary rather than high-powered. What?
It's a slippery slope because then you're like, oh, your whole magazine capacity, because then you got rate of fire.
Your
But,
high-capacity
you know,
magazines.
Then you're sort of going down that road. Then you're like, oh well, if you can shoot more than one consecutively, well, it's high.
Yeah, it's
power.
one 338 Norma more than fucking 10 22s. Like, you know what I mean? You'd probably, if you rated it that, like the mass damage it could cause. And
As I said, a 22 can do a lot of damage, man.
yeah,
So
It can.
depending on range. Yeah.
Exactly.
I think
Anyway,
they were worried about you shooting cops at 2 k's away, so
no one is shooting police officers.
no. It doesn't have to make sense. This is the main thing about these laws. It doesn't have to make sense. It doesn't have to relate to any previous incidences.
anyway, rather than us three pelicans speculating, we'll bring some context to this whole discussion. And for those who don't know, we'll read a little article in the Sporting Shooter about 2 weeks ago, 2 or 3 weeks ago,
By Royce Wilson.
by Royce Wilson. Good on you, Royce, with your bloody cowboy hat on. Just to give some context, and for people who don't know, they can find out exactly what's going on. But basically, the headline is WA to impose 5-gun limit on hunters, 10 for target shooters. Western Australia's unrelenting assault on shooters continues with the news the McGowan Labor government there is considering imposing limits on the number of firearms a licensee can hold. The West Australian Farmers Federation has reported in a member communication that the government plans to implement a 5-gun limit for recreational shooters, hunters, and a 10-gun limit for competition target shooters. The move comes as a part of plans to establish a special gun license for primary producers as part of an overhaul of the state's gun laws, for the worse, from a shooter perspective. It is understood that corporate licenses and collectors' licenses would be exempt from the firearm limits, while a primary producer's license would have a limit of 10 firearms per property. Primary producers could apply to own additional firearms for competition use beyond that. Firearms with interchangeable calibers, e.g. the Blazer R8 or the CZ457, will reportedly count as one firearm for the purposes of the limits, although the additional barrels would still need to be registered. There is currently no information on whether shooters with more than 5 guns will be grandfathered in or forced to dispose of the excess firearms, and the full details of the proposal have not yet been made public. Shooters Union President Graham Park blasted the leaked proposal as a classic case of divide and conquer, and said implementing limits on the number of guns licensed people could own was ignorant crap.
That's a good
It's
argument.
well spoken.
I like what he has to say, though. They're very obviously trying to carve out the primary producer sector to silence the opposition from them, so they can then ride roughshod over hunters and target shooters, knowing the general public won't care because it doesn't affect farmers, he said. It's a classic case of divide and conquer, and it's disgusting. Mr. Park said a limit of 5 guns was ridiculously low and demanded the proposal be scrapped immediately. A lot of our members own more than 5.22 rifles, never mind all the other calibers in the gun safe, he said. And this, I think, is a very good argument. We don't tell golfers how many golf clubs they can have in their bag. We don't tell motorsport drivers how many cars they can own. And we don't tell fishers how many fishing knives they can have. So why is it okay to dictate to gun owners how many guns they should have if they're being stored securely? Once a limit is set, what's to stop them lowering it again in the future? Absolutely nothing. It's ignorant crap, cynically being implemented by people who know perfectly well it won't positively affect public safety, but will get them brownie points with gun haters and a fearful public. If Mr. McGowan and Mr. Papalia are worried about criminals stealing guns from licensed shooters, then I suggest they should have thought of that before they ignored the West Australian newspaper publishing front page maps showing where gun owners lived. Fair point.
Yeah.
That's the end of the article. He makes a lot of good points there. So, yeah, for anyone who didn't know, that's what is being proposed in WA at the moment.
I reckon they'll have shares in Blazer or CZ because that seems like the obvious loophole that if it did go through, you would be buying those rifles to maximise your caliber.
Oh, with interchangeable barrels.
With interchangeable barrels. But regardless of the fact, it's bullshit because I don't know what's sort of fueling. Well, I did read that the reason this is happening is because WA feel like they need to modernise their firearms acts, and that they said that every other state has done this previously, but WA is the only state that hasn't. So they feel like they need to modernise it to sort of catch up with the rest of the states.
Yeah,
but then again, they're already well above every other state under their actual outlaws.
They're also
This goes past catching up. This is just like
yeah,
jumping 10 steps down the
well,
road.
they're doing it, and it sounds like they're doing it without any sort of subject matter experts on firearms. They're just sort of doing it, in Parliament without really any knowledge. And once again, it comes down to an educational thing, and it's fear-mongering. It is a little bit of fear-mongering. The whole divide and conquer thing I sort of agree with. They're going to use it to eventually target hunters and sporting shooters and just make the window narrower. So then suddenly people just give it up or they don't get into it because it's in the too hard basket.
Well, they literally are targeting hunters and recreational shooters because they're leaving
But more so, I mean.
they're leaving primary production alone. So they're not whinging, they're not jumping up and down about how many guns they can have because they're exempt. And then the general public, they care about farmers. So if it's just the target shooters and the hunters that are going, well, what the hell? Why are we having this imposed? The general public doesn't care as much as they do as if it was farmers jumping up and down.
And then you'd wonder the reasonings behind it for why they wanted to bring this new law in and not affect the whole gun community. But I understand that the reasons in why they want to sort of segregate each other, all of us, and they can chip away either side. But if they wanted to make sort of a new law to make everyone safer from guns, then why are they leaving one half of it alone?
But we
and
don't
then why
have
separate
a gun
the hunters
problem.
and the target shooters? Why separate them two from the amount of guns they can have?
Why
'Cause
have it in
used illegally? That's the same thing.
Why have the limit in the first place?
Yeah.
And to be honest, most hunters and target shooters who, if they're worried about criminals getting hold of guns, if this is the end game here and they're just worried about criminals getting hold of guns, I would say that most people in suburbia would have them securely stored and locked up, I'm generalising, more so than on a rural property.
Yeah, and have you seen some of the target shooters' guns? I wouldn't want to be running around trying to use them inappropriately. They'd weigh like 5 kilo.
So this is a bit of a weird thing, actually. Like with South, what you were just saying about securely storing guns in suburbia. You actually are allowed to have your car in the gun. Say if you go to work and then you've got a reason that you're going hunting after.
Can you fit your car in your gun
Who's
safe,
fitting
bro?
a car in a gun safe?
Sorry,
Jesus.
what did I say?
You're allowed to have your car in your gun safe.
You're allowed to have your gun in your car. Like, say you go to work in the morning and then you're going to go hunting later on in the day. You're allowed to keep your firearm in the car whilst you go to work. And then you're allowed to go because you've got a reason to have it in there because you're going hunting.
I
straight
thought that
after.
was a grey area.
No, you're allowed to. I checked this up in South Australia the other week. As long as it's not visible from the outside of the car, it's fine. Whereas a lot of cockies, they'll have it in their car and drive around like all day long because if they need it, they've got it.
Yep.
So it's like this huge sort of like weird area.
Yeah. It's very grey, isn't it? Then you could say, oh, well, there's more criminals in suburbia than rural. So,
But is there?
if that's where the concentration of criminals are, then you want to impose laws on where they are.
But is there?
I would say so.
You reckon?
It's a wild guess, man. It's a wild guess, but I reckon there would be more criminals in and around cities than out rural, just from a population point of view, man.
Yeah.
Because that's where most people live.
I don't know. I don't know. It just.
But if I say I was a criminal, for argument's sake, right? If I was a criminal and I wanted to get hold of a firearm and I didn't have any channels to go to some black market dude and be like, hey, I want to buy a gun. If I just wanted to get hold of one, I reckon I would have a better chance going to a rural property where I know, firstly, they're more likely to have one. Two, maybe don't have it as secure as a house in suburbia where they've got a gun safe somewhere out of sight in a house. Potentially. If I was a criminal and I wanted to get hold of a gun for legal purposes, I would probably go to a rural property to get it.
Well, regardless of that fact, how many
about?
No, but this is the thing. Like, that's just me postulating for the sake of an argument. Where's the reasoning behind it, other than votes and not wanting to piss off farmers?
Yeah, it's just another effort to show they're trying to do something with firearm safety in the country. That's all it means.
Regardless of the what you were just saying before, how many guns are actually stolen every year from law-abiding owners? Is it many?
Don't know.
Not sure.
Google.
I can do a quick Google.
Yeah, do a Google.
All right, Australia-wide, I'm guessing, or WA?
Let's just go WA for argument's sake.
How many legally owned firearms are stolen each year? I'm assuming there'd be a small number that would get lost.
Well, if it's
maybe?
a small number, is it a problem? Is it actually an issue?
Where do all the illegal firearms that criminals have come from?
Well, they're making them now, mate.
They make them. There would obviously be some channels to import them somehow. There'd be ones that have just existed that are unregistered. A pool of them that just exist that never got handed in.
I reckon there's a bit of A and B, column A, column B.
Yeah. But it'd be interesting to know what the actual number is. Because if it's going to be a reason to impose a limit, the article didn't really say what their entire reasoning was.
I don't think we're ever going to get like their actual reasoning out of them.
Probably not.
They're probably doing it, as you said before, for votes.
Well,
to be seen, to be looking after the public.
They're imposing it in the way that they are proposing to do it because they don't want to piss the farmers off, and the general public care about farmers. So there's two sectors you're keeping happy whilst putting a ban in on the target shooters and the recreational hunters. And they're like the soft target. They don't have as big a voice. They don't count for as many votes. So here's a limit on them. Cool. We've achieved what we wanted to achieve, which was have less guns in people's hands. And it's all just a method of control, really.
Do you want some stats?
Go for it.
All right. I'm pretty sure this is Australia-wide, the first bit. The figures show in the last 10 years, the number of firearms stolen annually has increased from just over 1,700 a year in 2007 to nearly 3,300 in 2016, with the numbers stolen over the 10-year period reaching close to 27,000.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
You just scrolled down a little bit. New South Wales is the worst, it says.
New South Wales has the largest number of stolen firearms at 6,651, with 761 stolen over the past year. In Victoria, Queensland and Wet WA, the number of firearms stolen has more than doubled over 10 years. Victoria has the largest increase of 123%. Now, WA has seen a 115% increase in gun theft over the past decade and nearly a 50% increase over the past year.
So 115% sounds bad, but if it's like going from 8 to fucking 10, 8 to like 18, that's not really huge.
Yeah.
Depends on what the actual number is.
Well, New South Wales...
People tend to use percentages to make it sound worse than it is.
Well, New South Wales is the largest, and with 761 stolen over the past year. That was 2016-17. So...
Interesting.
WA is obviously less than that.
Is this stolen? Is this stolen from just like average gun users, or is this like stolen from army bases, stolen from
Just
shops?
says stolen nationally.
Just says stolen.
So this could be coppers, this could be
interpretation.
from coppers, could be from the army, could be.
Well, a couple of years ago, they had a whole bunch of pistols taken from one of the police stations in Adelaide.
Oh, a couple of years ago, there was
50 odd or
a couple
something.
of years ago there
Well,
was
there's-
a
the
rocket
spikes
stolen
stats.
from the army base.
No, that was Salisbury. They found a Stinger missile launcher, I don't know, thing in someone's shed in Salisbury. Is that the thing that you're talking about?
No, were you? Oh, you might have been overseas at the time. There was
Yeah, I remember that.
either a little bit of either inside job or it was a break in. This is during when I was there,
Wasn't it
and it was a
RPGs?
cut fence, and they took a not the
66.
Carl Gustavs, but 66.
Really?
We took like 10 of them.
That's cold. What a fun
So-
to take
Fucking hell.
a 66 mil rocket launcher. What the fuck?
Well, I'm guessing they're a one-use thing, so you don't have to really deal with it. So, and they'd be already loaded.
If you're using that, I feel like the state's going to rain down hellfire on you to find it.
Oh man.
But it's a big step from just what we got.
It is, and that's probably included in what's stolen in those stats. Really,
Exactly.
I
Yeah.
think. So what I would think then is, okay, do we up our storage laws and say, okay, your safe has to be built into the house, and then you've got to have a wire cable going through all your receivers, and then CCTV, and have as many guns as you want then, or strong room. Do we go down that road?
I think at the end of the day, that's going to be cost prohibitive for people who want to get into the sport. So
It's not that hard to put a wire through you.
yeah, I know,
trigger
but if you
gun.
have to go build a strong room, I shouldn't say that, because if you want to get into the sport, you're going to own one first. You're not going to start with 20, are you? We know people that have gone from 1 to 10 very quickly,
Yes.
but it's going to make it hard for people. So you start imposing certain laws, then anyone who rents a house all of a sudden can't do anything crazy.
Okay, you put CCTV TV in, or a monitored alarm.
It's probably a good point, though. Yeah, you don't want your restrictions too high because renters couldn't do that.
Well, yeah, all right, I get that, but I mean, that's not all that much in cost. Having
CCTV's not,
cameras.
CCTV, no.
but CCTV, in my opinion, is probably you're better to have and not need than to need it and not have it.
Yeah, bloody oath.
Even though these days video footage doesn't really get you a sentence on someone.
No, but at least can identify it and then track them down and return the firearms, and then suddenly they're not stolen. It's not a stat.
Yeah.
It'd still be a stat.
Look,
That's
it's still
actually
be a stat, but
Do you know what? That's a fair point, though. Like, how many of those
Have been
thousands
recovered.
were recovered?
Yeah, because it makes it seem like there's 200 and something thousand guns just loose.
Because, like, as an example, say, I don't know, someone had a bad breakup, and one member of the breakup took a rifle, and the other person had to report it as stolen. There's a stat. There's a
Yeah.
stolen firearm. But then 2 seconds later, they've gone, well, fucking old mate's taken it. Get it back.
Yeah.
Like, it's a stat. It's a stolen firearm. But
Yeah. It's been recorded.
yeah, I don't know. It all just seems, as I said before, like an educational issue on the general public. I had a bit of a daydream the other day, actually. I was like, imagine if they brought back shooting into your curriculum at school, right, and made it a bit more of like a bit more awareness, more education, firearm safety. Maybe did it, in the younger years, say when you're in year 9 and then again in year 12. Just 2 days, spread over those years or whatever. That's fine. How much issue would we have in the general public with fear on
I think it'd be
firearms
worse
and-
having 2 days, just 2 days over teaching kids firearms. If you teach them just for 2 days over the 3-year period, then they know about firearms, they're confident in themselves, but they really don't know much.
yeah.
Okay, well, so you add it onto an after-school sort of
It may get
curriculum
them
or something.
it may get them into gun clubs and they can learn more there. But I think that the fact that they might think they know, but then they don't, is probably more dangerous than actually teaching.
Don't think, as much as I would love it, I don't think it's going to get up
No.
because schools plus guns is a very taboo subject.
But we can't have like
Well, it is now because it's been eradicated from the program.
Yeah, and also everything that's gone on in America has made it a hot topic, man.
yeah.
School shootings.
Look, and I get that, and that's an unfortunate thing that should never happen. But if you have a bit of education behind it, well, maybe it'll happen less.
You wonder what this world would look like without social media and internet. Because we wouldn't know about the fucking school shootings in
The
America.
bullshit wouldn't
and
spread
it'd just
as quickly.
be you'd probably still be in the same sort of lifestyles as back when our fathers grew up. Fucking
We're old enough to remember what it was like before social media. It was a lot fucking simpler.
yeah, and then go back further than that, it was simpler again, kind of thing, and in a good way, in my opinion.
Mm.
Well, with tech, we've certainly got too much
So-
time on our hands now.
Too much knowledge is probably a bad thing.
And with social media, the media itself has gone to shit with accuracy
yeah.
because it's no longer about who can get the story right and get it
Getting
out
the
there. It's who
story.
can get something out there first,
Yeah, but
whether it's right or wrong.
yeah, you're right about that. But it's gone so far as big corporations are hiding shit now, so you'll never know the truth, even if there was a truthful media out there.
Yeah,
Mm.
it's a hard one to filter what is bullshit and what's not.
Very much so. But so this topic for discussion was proposed by one of our listeners. So cheers for that. The part 2 to the discussion was if we did have a 5-gun limit imposed upon us, which 5 guns would we have?
Are we including interchangeable barrels?
Well, we're gonna have to that. It has to include it because the law does state it that you can have 2 calibers for the one gun. But it throws out my thought process.
I don't think I'd want an interchangeable barrel. It's just too much fucking around.
I think it's worth it if you're restricted by
Like,
how many guns you
okay,
can have.
that's a fair point. If that was your loophole and all of a sudden you could have 10 calibers across 5 guns, well, of course you would do it.
Well, I have a Warwick that's a 223 and a 300 blackout. It only has to be registered as a 223 or one of the calibers, and we're allowed to change out the barrel. So when you're building a rifle in South Australia, right, if you have a 308, say for instance, and you wanted to build a 6BR and the weapon's registered as a 308, so you change it, you don't actually have to resubmit a PTA to say that you've changed the caliber, as long as it's below the caliber that it's registered at.
Sounds
dodgy.
weird.
Nope, you don't have to. man.
Say you used it for nefarious purposes and they analyse the ballistics and they go, oh, well, it was a 308. And then they sort of come to you as a suspect and you've only got a 223.
Oh, you got more. Okay,
Seems a bit strange to me.
on the actual projectile, like I guess the footprint on the projectile, yes, but casings also give it away. Your firing pin's unique and can be traced back to the receiver, but you've got to leave a casing behind.
Yeah, and us with bolt actions, it's probably easier to not to leave a casing.
Anyway, let's not go down the slippery slope of criminal.
Yeah, doing ourselves in.
Yeah.
So five guns. So the question was, what would your 5 be in that situation?
Oh, this is
And this
hard
was
but easy.
This was given by Will Moore on Instagram. So.
Do any of us actually own more than 5 at the moment?
Yeah.
Josh hangs around the 5 and sells off 2 to buy 1, and he buys
You
another
just have
later.
a constant turnover. So
does.
you would have had over 5 at some point.
Yeah.
But you tend to turn them over and then just have your go-tos.
You can't count your old
No,
hands.
well, this is the thing, right? I've sort of narrowed it down to what I want now, and I want to change all my platforms to suit my needs, I guess. So there's going to be a switch up very soon.
Again. All right. All right. So what would your calibers be? Well, caliber or gun? I'm going calibers because I don't really care about the actual gun itself.
Oh, you don't want to be more specific than that?
So this is going to be so easy.
It's fucking laziness.
The
bro.
gun's going to be easy. It's going to be like 700 action or defiance action, and then customize the rest. And it's simple. If you've got interchangeable barrels, I'm going to have a 708 and a 308. That's one gun. So interchangeable barrels. Boom. There you go. One gun. Then I'm going to have a 6BR just straight up. I'll have a 223 AI. This is where it gets difficult. Because
you can
realistically, you'd want then sort of a shotgun and a 22. And there's 5 guns. So that's I've had this sort of like thought in my head many times. Oh, what would you get rid of and what would you keep?
It's a hard one to sort of really answer and put it down to 5.
Well, you're about to.
No, I'm about to.
Well, it's the same.
But
So did you get to 5? You're still on 3.
no, he did
shotgun
the
is
doubles.
4.
He did his. Oh yeah, so yeah.
Get more specific then. It's boring if you just like name calibers.
All right, 12 gauge shotty. I would go an under and over a straight pull.
Like what?
I would go the Beretta Silver Pigeon.
Of course you would.
And
Slut.
the 22, this is the difficult part, right? Because really, you want a 22 that you can do, I guess, in quotation marks, a long range 22 or a heavier setup, and then like a lever 22 or something for walking around the scrub with. So this is where it'd be hard.
So if you had a 5 gun limit, you'd have a long range 22.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
Over like a lever gun or a lightweight 22. Yep.
Right.
Because they're not that heavy that you can't, you're still going to index it even with sort of like a heavier 22 setup. I'm not talking about these Voodoo custom actions. I'm talking like a CZ precision trainer or something.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Which you already own.
Yeah, I do. I'd like to get another one.
So I affectionately called the dildo.
Yeah, other than that, the centerfires are going to be pretty easy. They'll be bolt actions and they'll be a REM 700 action or like a Defiance action or some sort of 700 footprint. Yeah.
Yeah.
Fair enough. So I mean, I'm next. You done?
Well, I'm waiting.
Well, mine's going to be quick because I haven't really got a specific gun to buy, but I'm going to roll with calibers. So I'm going to have to definitely go with 22 just for fucking the 22 fun. 223. Can't not have a 223. 308. Shotgun. And I'm going to have to pick like a 243 or a 6BR or something in between the 223 and the 308.
They're drastically different calibers.
Yeah, I know, but somewhere in between. I said somewhere in between. Like, just give me a mid-range in between those two.
Yeah, right. No, it's like 6BRA or Grendel or something.
Short and sharp, but I'm not sort of stuck on
Okay,
any certain brand.
here's a question. Why do you pick those calibers?
Like, you trying to find out my purpose for my reasonings and why.
Yeah, reason for purpose.
All right. Well, 22 is good for bunny busting. Good for fun. 2 to 3 foxes. For need purpose, I'm going to go, we'll say 243 for ease of just talking about it. 243 is for
what?
Goats and larger animals that are maybe a longer distance.
You can do that with 308 though.
You could, but that's what I'm using a 243 for. So
Okay.
that's my reasonings and you can't tell me how to use it.
That's true. Just playing devil's advocate.
A 308 just for deer shooting across Australia.
So you're talking the 243 is more like, goats, pigs, and it sort of caps at that medium size
Yeah,
game.
we'll go for that. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Even though you could use that for deer as well.
Yeah.
What about pig?
He said pig.
Oh, he did say pig.
And I agreed.
Medium.
Yeah. And 12 gauge for birds and clays.
What are you going to use for buff?
Buff? No, I'm just going to borrow your gun.
Or what about long range shooting?
I probably would not be doing long range shooting, or I'd utilise the caliber I have.
You're going to go lighter setups or a heavier setup? Your 6-bit or your 243?
If I was restricted in guns, I probably wouldn't actually. It'd be hard to dedicate a gun to actually just long range shooting.
Yeah.
Because I'm restricted in what I can get, so therefore I have to sacrifice on something I really don't do a whole lot of. If when I do it, the max we do is 600 at the range. And how often do we do that?
Once a month.
No, we don't.
Yeah.
You don't invite us, but I don't do that a whole lot. So why would I focus on that?
Yeah.
I'll just borrow your rifles because they didn't say you could do that. Couldn't do that. So I'll just borrow yours and shoot them.
Nah, mate. It's not happening.
No.
I feel like in those centerfire, like 223, you probably, as you said, for foxes. So it'd probably be a good sort of caliber to sit on, maybe a spotlighting, like on for spotlighting. Sorry, so maybe a heavier setup's going to be fine for your 223, right? Your 243 go light, you know, kick around for your goats because of the country that you're in, but you still want to get out to that 600 meters, so it's possible. The 308 could go either way.
Yeah. No, I agree. And you could probably, you could definitely turn just say 243 or the 223 into one long, one short. Because I wouldn't say they're close, but they're close enough to sort of utilise either way.
Fairly different.
They're close enough either way.
Very different.
No, they're close enough.
Are you going straight 223 or are you going to Ackley it or what?
I haven't thought that far ahead. I haven't actually had an Ackley to actually say that I want an Ackley.
Yeah, that's a fair call.
Ooh, 88 grains over a fucking shitty 55 grain pill. I don't know which way I'm going.
Placement means more.
Tell me how you go at fucking 600 metres, mate.
600's fine.
All right.
Why? So you want to shoot everything out to 600 metres?
No, I'd cap my distance. This is the other reason why your 5-gun cap is sort of a bit silly, because I'll cap my range to each gun differently. So if it's a light setup, say my 308, my Seiko, for instance, man, 600 metres is going to be the cutoff for me on that gun on animals. I would not push it any further. Okay, so if I want to shoot beyond that, I need to come up with some different system to do that. That's more ethical, more accurate, you know, better ergonomics to sort of hit that capability. But 223, so I have two 223, well, technically one, and then a 223 Ackley. One is the Warwick. Mm-hmm. Man, look, yes, you could shoot out to 600, but I'm going to cap that at 300 with the scope and with everything else that I've got on it. So, okay, well, what if there's a Fox at 500 metres? All right, I've got the AI now. The Ackley's a little bit better, bit heavier pill. I can stretch out.
Fair call.
Yeah.
So, and then, okay, you're a target shooter as well. Well, shit. None of those 3 guns that I just mentioned are any good for competition shooting. So you've got to go get a comp gun.
We don't have to. It depends on what you want. But yeah, if you wanted to sort of utilise all aspects of shooting, then yeah, it makes it hard.
Which most people do.
Most people do.
Most people that are into...
But I feel like if that goes through, which I hope it doesn't, I feel like that a lot of people will just start focusing on their style of what they want to do, either their hunting or their target shooting. But if you're smart, you'd become a target shooter.
Yeah, yeah.
And say it's a target
Stretch it
rifle.
out to 10.
And then get your 10 rifle.
Yeah, yeah.
Because that doubles you up.
All with interchangeable barrels.
Yes. This 20 rifles, and therefore you're probably more calibers than you had before, so they've encouraged you to have more guns.
See, this is the other thing. It's like, what sort of scrub are you shooting in or hunting in? Like southeast, you get, realistically, there are some spots in the southeast you could shoot 1,200 metres. Or in Victoria, you could shoot, out Samba, yonder away, right?
You can just shoot.
Okay, that rifle that's going to be capable to do that, you're not taking it into the scrubs after pig. Like,
no.
It's just not. You're not going to lug a, 14-pound rifle, 15-pound rifle around.
We have taken your fucking Accuracy International.
It's and that's terrible, man.
It sucks.
Nothing was shot because it's just too hard to index.
It's huge.
It is.
That's what she said.
Yeah. Never to you.
You're very bored on this topic.
No, I'm just listening. I'm just listening and waiting for my turn.
Yeah, he's saving it for
How's going to be like, I wouldn't have any because guns are bad.
There's definitely no semis. So
yeah, fucking hell.
WA are actually, just to cut in, banning gel blasters as well, which doesn't surprise me.
Yeah, of course.
They're joining the bandwagon. But anyway, so gel blasters aren't on your list, Caleb. So okay.
I can't choose a gel blaster.
No.
Damn, I was going to have 5. Oh dear. Anyway, this was weird for me that I don't already have more than 5, but obviously I've got a list of stuff that I would like. So currently I've got a Gammo Shadow air rifle.
Oh, there's another one. Jesus, an air rifle.
You wouldn't have an air rifle if you had limited guns. No way.
No, but you'd like. What if you're pigeon shooting in sort of like semi-rural?
You would just smash them with 22s.
Well, that's not going to cause
Oh,
more
the
incidences.
government caused it, so fuck it.
Sorry, mate. Sorry, bud.
No worries.
Keep going.
Interject. I love it.
Keep going with your little
I
gammo.
only got the first gun.
So
We'll
I've
do
got
it
that,
next.
which used to be yours, Josh. I've got a CZ452 in 22 and I've got a Ticket T3X in 308. Now, if I had a 5-gun limit, firstly, I'd fuck off the air rifle because
Smart choice.
unless, as you just alluded to, Josh, I got into some serious pigeoning, I wouldn't really bother.
That's fair.
And
It's a piece of shit. You should just give it up.
I do want to get rid of it anyway. But
Just, yeah,
I
surrender.
mean, most birds I've shot are with a 22 anyway. Anyway, so if I had a 5-gun limit, firstly, I would keep the CZ452 in 22 because I love the thing. And the general use for that is rabbits and some fun plinking. I think I'd definitely keep that. I love the rifle. It's my only timber stock, but I just love it. It feels nice. I'm very familiar with it. So I'd keep that. That's my sort of lightweight 22 for a bit of fun. I'd keep the Ticket T3X in 308. That's my lightweight centerfire for general hunting. So deer gun, I'd keep that because it's light. I like it. I wouldn't want to ever get rid of that. Now we're into territory of things I don't have. So I want a 223. I've been thinking about the CZ600 Trail.
when that is available.
When that's fucking available sometime. Now that's going to be a lightweight pack hunt / a fox gun. That's your fun centerfire. So it's just fun. It's going to be fun to shoot that thing.
Yeah.
But
You
then
hope
it
so.
also has practical application in that it's designed for real lightweight pack to be really lightweight and, compact down. So if you're going on a long pack hunt where you're carrying a lot of weight, it's perfect.
Unless you're in Vic with caliber restrictions.
Unless you're in Vic, yes. But if you're in states without caliber restrictions and you can shoot whatever with a 223 with good shot placement, go for it. But I'm thinking of scenarios where you don't have an option and you're in some thick scrub. You can wield it around the place with tree branches and shit going everywhere. Or just as a fox gun on some of the smaller properties that we have access to. You don't want a bigger caliber. So I think it's just a good fun centerfire, basically. So
I'm surprised with your next gun because each time I've seen you try and use one, maybe not the specific style, you seem to struggle.
because I don't have one, I think I'd never get any practice on a straight pull shotgun, which is my next on the list. I've had a fair run on some Adlers at times, but because I don't get to use one day in, day out, I feel like a spud every time I get behind one for like the first time in 12 months.
Yeah.
But then you get into it. So
Come to the club with us. Get some practice in, man.
with a straight pull, I don't think so.
Are you going to shoot ducks, or birds? What are you going to use your shotty for?
Probably walking around in scrub. Or a bit of clay target
Yeah.
as well. So
So
I've
you'd
looked-
slug it.
So yeah, I don't want an over under or side by side. Like I just want a straight pull for the expense, firstly, and then I've sort of had my eye on the Sullen Arms TAC 12, which is it's a copy of the Benelli M4, B4, M4. Fuck Benelli
M2, M4?
M4, Benelli M4.
Yeah.
But obviously not a semi. So I'd like to give that a go. So that's where I'd be for my fourth. And then the fifth, I was sort of like, maybe a long range 308. So a heavier setup, as you said before, something that can shoot out to distance. Because I can see myself getting into that more when maybe if I get a bit older and I don't want to lug everything around.
I think you need to
Walk as
choose.
far.
I think you
walk
need
as
to
far,
choose
exactly.
You chose 2 rifles there.
What?
The last one.
Or I put 22 250 just because I love how flat shooting they are.
Yeah.
But then I'm like, well, do I really need a 2250, 250 if I've got a 223?
But do you need a 308 if you got another 308? Why wouldn't you go to like a 300 PRC or something?
Yeah.
For long range. You've got literally long range 308. Why wouldn't you pick a better caliber for a long range?
Well, I'm thinking down into the future when things get fucking harder to get hold of and you want to
308s, yeah.
stick with calibers that are easy to get ammunition for because I'm never going to fucking reload until I'm old and I have way more time. That's just the reality of it. That's
and then
me.
you'd be
That's
like,
just me.
I've shot fucking 50 years without reloading. Why reload now?
So that's why
That's what's gonna
I don't have any weird calibers in there because just from availability, I want to be able to future-proof myself a bit. That's
fair.
That's how I think.
That's why the 308 is just a general good caliber to have, and the 223. You're always going to have
223,
supply.
100%.
Yeah.
Starting to hate my 308 for some reason.
Because you don't shoot it enough.
Nah.
Exactly.
I still actually have the muzzle brake from Nick, man. Boy,
Yeah.
yeah.
We'll try it.
Sunday,
Sunday.
let's do it.
Yeah.
So that's how I feel about shotguns, man, because I don't fucking shoot them enough. You feel like a spud until you get back into the groove.
Yeah, I'm going to buy some ammo and chuck some lead down range Sunday.
Exactly. So that's me. I'm probably leaning more towards a long range 308 than the 22-250. 22-250 is just nostalgia because your old man's fucking Seiko was a lot of good times, and that's where I started centerfire.
They were the good days. Like the 22-250.
Yeah.
Seems like it just shot like a laser.
Yeah, it was all right.
It was good.
It's just a wooden stock and it's
Yeah.
outdated.
That was the only
and,
thing.
I'm
You had to
gonna
like,
keep
be
my wooden stock.
super careful not to knock it on anything, but I just love that rifle and that caliber. It just felt good. I don't know. There's a feeling thing. It just felt
It's
good.
the same as a 2D3. Like that feeling.
Yeah.
It just feels nice.
Yeah. It's like low recoil impulse, you know.
Or we're all just bitches and we
Short
like too many
action.
kills. One of them two.
I like to be able to see my fuller shot, and I feel like the 708, you know, is starting to push it a bit, you know, with like that whole recoil management. But 308 and under is good. Very good. Like you can still see your shot after firing.
Yep.
So I do like your list. I do think the 22-50, there's better choices because you're.
Yeah, I would lean more towards a long range 308. Put it that way. Heavy setup, sort of more like your, maybe not like super long range, but something more like your Ticker TAC A1, where it's heavy.
Yeah.
It's heavy. It just sits there.
Do you want to
sit
buy my 308?
I'll buy it off you.
Done.
Not now, but when I have
Done.
money. Just
How
when I
much?
have money to burn.
We'll call it a 3K and we'll call it even.
Don't,
Fucking hell.
Jesus Christ. The only thing is the folding stock.
Don't try and recoup the money you've lost on last guns.
It's like 36 or 38 new, I think.
I know it's been looked after well.
Yeah, it's all right. Goes all right. I'm going to get rid of it.
Yeah, I know. You've lost
How long's it been since you've had it?
you've lost affection for it.
5-6 years.
But again, it's because you don't use it as
Well
much.
beyond
man.
its lifetime.
yeah,
You don't use it anymore, though. That's the thing.
I do.
But
I
not as
take it
much.
to the range pretty much every time I go out. I just
Don't shoot it there.
It's not practical to hunt with, though.
no.
It's too heavy. It's too long for you.
Well, I hunt. No, it's short. It's 20-inch barrel. I don't hunt with it as much as what I would because it's not. Like I sort of leaned to chassis systems for a while, and now I'm leaning back to
Same.
different style of stock, and it's sort of like, well, it's not fitting my, I guess, my ergonomics anymore.
Imagine. Well, I mean, while we're having this discussion, let's go back to the golfing analogy. Imagine if a golfer had to sit there and make all these decisions, and he could. I don't know how many golf clubs there are normally. Couchy?
I should know.
You should know.
I want to say
Let's say 10, 12,
13, I think.
something like that. Imagine if you could only take 5.
Probably wrong.
But imagine if you were limited to 5.
Putter, wedge, driver, 7.
Yeah. But then when you get yourself into a scenario where you want to fucking
Tied against a sand bunker.
Yeah.
So you need your flop because your sand's wedged. It isn't quite. You can roll it back, but it's not quite right.
they're all different. They all have a different application. They all have a genuine reason for use.
Still
for you
270
owning it.
out in the middle of the fairway. You want your hybrid. You don't want your 4-on.
I'm not a fucking geek, so it's good.
But this is the point, though. Why should you be limited when you should just be able to have a reasonable amount?
Especially if there's no actual real issue. Like, you know, it's a knee-jerk sort of reaction to making law. Well, it's not even a knee-jerk reaction because nothing's happened to make them react.
Yeah.
You know? Like, and that's the same with vehicles. I mean, people die in vehicle accidents all the time. And you're not limiting cars. You're not, all the rest of it.
Yeah, the number of cars you own doesn't really mean you could potentially kill more or less people.
No, and it's the same as the number of
You can
guns.
only
either,
use
'cause you can
one
only use
rifle
one.
at a time.
Exactly.
Effectively.
That's exactly what I mean.
So,
Like if you own 10 cars, you're not going to kill more people
No.
accidentally.
If you own 10 guns, you're not going to kill more people.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh,
Exactly. It's a fucking stupid argument.
it is. It's ridiculous.
So, yeah, soon it'll be just 22s.
So
That's where it'll go
would
to.
you chuck in, do you think they should go, okay, you're allowed 5 firearms, centre fire, but as many rim fires as you want?
Then they'll start bringing out some rimfire centre fires.
What?
Some
Fucking
rim fire,
just
centre fires.
Designs
How
of
does
like
that
308s rimfire.
Don't think I'll use that. It's an interesting little topic. They definitely should not have a limit because it's ridiculous. There's no real reason for it. So I really do hope this doesn't get up in WA.
Because it'll set precedents for the rest of the country
Exactly.
as well.
The whole reason we're talking about this is all these restrictions that they put in place, they slowly chip away. And once one little thing gets in, then it makes it easy for the next thing. And then before you know it, you're looking at no guns allowed at all, which is just ridiculous.
Yeah.
What about this? You're only allowed 2 firearms. Or, no, we'll say 3 firearms, but you're allowed semis.
What? As a trade off?
Yeah. AR-10, AR-15, and Brenelium 4. Done.
I don't think I could do it.
Nah, I couldn't either.
No way.
I'd stick with the bolt action.
Just don't do either of them and just maintain or just loosen WA's laws.
We should just be allowed what we want. Like the whole reasoning in South Australia is getting hard as well. So the reason to obtain a new firearm is getting difficult. They're starting to just reject them once, and then you got to almost reapply with an in-depth reasoning as to why you want it, and then they look at it and go yes or no. And they're starting to knock back a lot of stuff.
I wonder if they just there's a natural attrition rate of people who just give up after one knockback. So just by knocking people back by default or for more reasons,
They stop.
It actually would discourage more people. So if they decide to go again and there's actually no genuine reason to deny them, you've already sort of culled all the people who are like, oh, fuck, they don't want me to have one. I can't. So you're sort of defaulting to decrease the numbers of people because naturally people are going to give up.
Yeah, yeah. You know what I think we should do, though? This is like going back to your canal idea.
Oh, Jesus.
So instead of going from Darwin through to SA, we go the border of WA, north to south, dig the canal deep so WA just cracks off.
I've got a better idea. I'll one-up this. I'll be that dude.
And just keeps going.
What about if all the shooters in the country move to Victoria and we just segregate that from Australia and we all just live there?
It'd probably work out all right for criminals too because they'll move across to WA because they're all just defenseless. Not that we can use it for defense, but yeah.
Yeah.
But it'd be nice to have a state where all hunters lived.
And to be able to defend yourself.
And that too. Maybe that's when we can actually bring that in.
Sounds like you want to set up Texas in Australia.
Fucking oath.
Mate, what is so wrong about the States?
Nothing.
Nothing. What's so wrong about Texas?
Nothing. I want to
reckon
go
it'd
to
be-
Texas.
I reckon it'd be perfect to have a Texas state here.
I bet it would be.
Maybe we should just get in good with Texas and be like, hey, move some of your top brass and your big wigs to a state and set in Australia and then just take over politically and then just,
Making an American
some real
state.
smart people that just go through the law and they're like, all right, we're going to become a republic and we're just going to chop ourselves off from the rest of the country.
I mean, maybe the best idea is not suggesting a hostile takeover of a whole state from gun owners.
No, don't do a hostile. Just be like America approaches Australia. They're like, we're going to take the country or you can just give us one of the states and we'll be fine. And then Tasmania gets given away.
Or if you take Vic, you're taking Tassie as well. So yeah,
fuck Tassie.
that'll be one. No, are you serious? Okay, I'll take Tassie. You take.
No, you're not taking it, man. It's America. You are not America.
No, but I'll move there. And
Would you
become
ever? You wouldn't live in Tassie. It's too cold for you.
Yeah,
Man, have you seen the
you'd be
fallow
cripple
deer
up there, down
in
there.
Tassie? Hot damn! There are some cracker fallow.
You
mate.
will freeze your ass off, mate.
I don't care. That's why I'm saying Vic and Tassie, like they're one. That's a combined package for the states.
I don't think they want Tassie.
Yeah.
No one wants Tassie.
It's just inconvenient having the other half like across the fucking ocean.
They have Hawaii, so
Just
they
fuck
might
off.
actually take Tassie as
Yeah.
well. They got Hawaii, so
Nothing wrong with it, mate. While we're there, we'll also take New Zealand, and so we'll spread to Vic, Tassie, and New Zealand. All of it. All of New Zealand. Or South or North Island, one of the two.
UCW.
Why
United
I mean,
Countries
at
of
this
the World.
point, why are you limiting yourself to a state at this point?
World domination, all right, Caleb? Bloody hell.
Exactly. Come on, far out. Anyway, we've prattled on for a while.
No idea how we got to there.
Nah,
Any closing statements?
Well,
I hope it doesn't go through. I don't even know
Oh, yeah,
how you'd
yeah.
fight this, man.
I guess you fight it the same way you do every other law, and you just try and vocalise.
You got to present
Send
some
your
logic
letters.
back the other way, or like with the example of the divide and conquer, where they're hoping they can conquer the recreational shooters and hunters, and because it's the easy target. Well, you got to fight back with things like make the general public aware of the situation and the reasons why it's not a good idea. This is something we discussed at the ADA.
But it's too late to turn the public for this one.
We discussed this at the ADA meeting, in that there's chopper culling going on, which is a bad thing if you are a hunter, because we see how unethical it is, and you know how much meat is wasted, and also something that we are in love with doing is hunting deer being taken away. But the general public doesn't actually know, because that's the way the narrative's driven. They don't know what goes on. But any logical human being, as a member of the general public, would be like, well, it's probably a better idea to eradicate deer by means of a hunter who's going to use that meat versus what goes on with chopper culling.
Yeah, and the hunter doesn't only just use that meat; he shares it with friends that aren't hunters.
Maybe we need to grow some balls and start doing like the whole walking around like Rundle Street with a mic and camera and being like, hey, what do you think about this? Do you know that they're culling animals and leaving them to rot, and we could utilise the meat and stimulate the economy as hunters if we did it this way? What's your opinion?
I think if you pose it that way, most people would obviously say, well, yeah, we'd rather a hunter do it, and at least they're going to use the meat. At least they're going to, one-shot kill. They're not going to fucking pepper it from a helicopter. And something else I've thought was very interesting that we've found out recently is that they get around some of the ethical laws by saying they're doing experimentation with person.
Yeah. That's messed up, eh?
And that's their loophole, is fucking using shotguns out of a helicopter to cull deer.
Yeah.
It's like, unethical and dangerous. You'd have to be dangerous.
Ridiculous is what it is.
Or you're too far away.
Oh, I think they're just using it as that whole ethical thing. Oh, but it's R&D, so
R&D.
we can get away with it.
We will see what effect a shotgun has on a deer from a helicopter.
There is no reason to
You can use
get
ballistics for that.
There's no reason to eradicate all deer in Australia. Like, there is none.
Correct.
So I'm almost fairly certain they're trying to do it as a reason for people to stop purchasing firearms.
Well, you're just limiting the numbers of people who have access. So if it's only allowed to be done by helicopter culling, that's control for the government. This is this small control group that can do it, and we're trying to diminish the numbers of the general public who has firearms in their hands.
Wait, this is the other thing, right? So these chopper guys are hunters, or shooters, I should say, right? Or something. What happens to their business once they've eradicated it all? They've got nothing left to shoot. What are they
No,
doing?
they'll move on to the next fucking species to eradicate.
What if
Pigs,
it
pigs
all
next.
goes?
Pigs will be next. And
What have they got next? You know, like you just sort of you're literally shooting yourself.
I
out
just
of a
don't know
job.
how they're going to do the Adelaide Hills,
With population of people in close proximity.
because that'll be a breeding ground to move out broader from the hills.
I mean,
So they
surely
would
the
never be
deer
able
would
to-
move as well.
They'll never be able to cull. They'll have to do it on foot and only in certain areas. The deer
Or
will
baiting, man. They'll just end up baiting them,
Yeah,
paying
true.
people. They were starting to pay farmers to, what was it?
Just
To allow the
to allow the
culling
chopper coal on
crews.
the land, because
Yeah.
obviously if you can't till your land or do whatever you want to do in your land, there's loss of income. So they're paying
Mm.
to be able to fly over and cull on their property.
That's crazy.
Yeah, that's messed up, man.
You just chuck out some deer decoys.
What? So they concentrate on these deer that just stand. Fuck, this thing will not go down.
See, this is the other thing. All it would take is one incident, and they'd shut that program down.
It'd need to be like a farmer or livestock.
Livestock is what I'm
Livestock's-
thinking. Like, they'd shut that shit down, man. Or if they accidentally shot livestock or something. You'd have to be pretty switched in that chopper.
Yeah.
You would. And apparently the pilot is the only one that can call dead.
Really?
Yep. Dead animal. Yep.
How's he?
Yeah,
Fuck
how's he
knows,
able to
man.
How's he the
analyse-
guy?
Fuck knows. From my sister
Stupidest guy through
describing
the scope.
my sister describing how to fly a chopper, I'm like, mate, like you're using like all your like your feet and your arm, like both arms and everything, and obviously looking. I don't know how you'd even cope.
Well, they're not beginners.
No, and they're not me. That's for certain.
No.
So it's probably a good
I
thing.
really would love to be a fly on the wall, fly on the fucking cockpit,
On the shit.
just to see what the fuck actually goes on, or talk to someone who's done it, who's out of it. Because fuck me,
Is that an invite?
it's like, yeah, well, 100%.
If someone is listening and you are a part of it and you want to remain anonymous,
Would love to talk to people to see what
Get you
actually
on.
goes on, because there's like this fucking sinister thing that happens. No one seems to know. Like, there's little whisperings and this happens and this and apparently, and
don't know what to believe there.
you don't know what to believe
No,
unless you hear it firsthand from someone's actually done it, or you've been and seen it for yourself firsthand.
I do wonder, because obviously these guys that are doing these culling, as I said, they're shooters. So how do they respond in their mind when they think about, what about the rest of the shooters in Australia?
Well,
Like, we're kind of fucking it up.
I think the rest of the shooters would do the same thing if given the opportunity.
Most
others
would. I wouldn't. No, not anymore. Maybe 18-year-old me, yeah, sure. But now, no. I'd be like, no, I'm not going to be the guy that fucks it up for everybody. No way.
Yeah, like
Someone else is going to do it.
I'm sure it's
Yeah, but it's that mindset that's fucking it up for everybody.
yeah, true.
So it's a plague. So unless you take a stand as well and go, no, I'm not doing it. Well, yeah.
When you got a couple $100,000 on the table,
No, still not doing it, mate.
I know you, but that speaks volumes to other people. Like, fuck, here's my income.
If you stand for nothing, you'll fall for everything, mate. Yeah.
True, but
Well, there you go. Fuck money. Money comes and
I
goes,
think
man.
it's more down to the minority ruining it for the majority.
Yeah.
That's what I mean. Like, what the hell's going on in their head, mate? Be like, I'm fucking it up for everybody else. And
Well-
the other thing that I would be thinking about is, fuck, I've just shot 100 deer today. I could feed Adelaide's entire homeless for like 3 months or 4 months, or half a year.
Probably not that long.
I don't.
I
wonder how many homeless there are.
Through awareness, somehow we have to get the message out there. There's just such a massive waste.
Oh, it is.
So that needs to be but
We need to change them from a pest species to a fucking game species. And I've said this fucking time and time again.
let's protest on Parliament fucking steps.
Well, everyone else protests, man. What? Climate change activists, fucking LGBT, everyone. But
Minorities.
hunters don't. You know what? Maybe it's time we do band together and be like, listen, you shoot? You like shooting? Let's go do a peaceful protest in Parliament. Done.
I'd love to get some media attention to these issues because people need to know.
It'd be quite easy for them to turn it negative, though, and actually work against us.
Of course they would.
No,
They wouldn't.
They'd try.
They wouldn't support you for that because you're a hunter and you're scary. And
No.
now you're angry and you're taking charge and you're becoming aggressive.
And no, this is the thing.
That's how they'd turn
You're
it.
going to go and most certainly not be aggressive whatsoever, and cooler heads are going to have to prevail when you go there. And any protest, you can get lost in the mob. So we'd have to be on our best behaviour. There's no doubt about that. But no, anyone can protest. You just have to ring the police and say, I'm going to hold a protest this date, this time. They basically put extra staff on to monitor it. That's fine, but you're allowed to. Anyone is allowed to. Whether it's 3 people or whether it's fucking 60,000 shooters in South Australia. If we got 30,000, even if we got 3,000 people, shooters in South Australia, walking down Parliament, like peacefully, bloody hell, they would suddenly be like, wow, okay, these guys have a voice, and that's votes. Let's just take a step back here.
I mean, as much as I hate the wankers that have ridiculous causes who do that, at least it sort of shows that they're passionate enough to get off their ass and
take a day off work and do it.
something.
Yeah, bloody oath.
Yeah.
So, there are way too many passive hunters and shooters out there.
Too many.
I think it's just they're going to bury their head in the sand and else is going to go away. Well,
It's not.
It'll go away when no one can own a firearm anymore.
Yeah, it's not going to go away, mate. And I want my future son to hunt, to be able to shoot, to enjoy the same thing I do, and for me to be able to teach him
Yeah.
safely, respectfully, and with discipline.
It's part of our culture, man.
It is.
Exactly.
It is. I'm
has
Australian
been.
and I'm a shooter. And I have been my whole life, mate.
For generations, we've been hunters. So it's part of our culture. It's no,
There you go. Let's get some batters made
you
up.
can't diminish that you can't say it's not a part of my culture. Fuck, you can identify as anything these days and not be argued with. So
Yeah.
I don't know. It just seems
Seems
weird.
ridiculous.
It seems weird that we haven't sort of band together and no one's actually in the shooting community protested. And it is because we all think, all right, we need to be quiet and just fly under the radar.
it's a weird.
That hasn't worked for us for the last, since 96.
So it's 50 years, isn't it? No, fucking what?
It is a weird pattern of thought, isn't it? It's like the more noise
That's
we make,
Arthur.
people think, more bans are going to be imposed if we just got to sit quietly here and fly under the radar and no one will.
60,000 voters in South Australia, or more by now, licensed shooters. You band together, even half that, mate. Jesus, the pollies will be like, all right, we'll listen.
Yeah.
Nationwide, 1 million shooters.
Yeah.
You band together them.
Yeah.
Holy shit, mate.
It'd be nice to be able to have a uniform voice.
Yeah.
Like,
It's a big portion of the vote.
But too many groups hate each other and this and that. Like, we should all be banding together for WA and staging fucking state protests, peaceful state protests in support of WA. We should. And I'd take a day off work to do that. I'm sure both of you would as well, really.
As long as you buy me lunch.
Oh, it's Couchy's shout. He's on the big bucks.
Oh,
some
it's
megarine.
interesting, isn't it?
I'm bringing some bigger in.
Yeah.
Go for it, man.
I'll take the swing on, swing off, and we'll have a cook up while we're there.
Fuck yeah.
The jet ball.
Oh, we'll chuck a video up of the me going cook up at fucking deer camp. It was good in a little hut. It was cozy, Josh. It was almost like date night. It was like a real romantic setting.
Bro, it was good.
Just needed a bottle of red.
Port.
Or port. Fuck, I haven't been on the port for a while.
We need to do a weekend recording and just get on it.
Well, I think we had like a couple of drinks. I think we had like, what, 2 drinks each. We ran out, and I ended up finding the smallest bit of gin in a bottle in the back of the car, and we ended up putting it with kombucha and having that. That was pretty good.
It's a thing.
Yeah,
It was very floral, but it was tasty.
that was good.
I'm willing to try it.
Yeah, my missus packed kombucha. I'm like, yeah,
You
thank
miss
you.
his pack kombucha. Get out of it.
Yeah,
You're just looking
you love
after your
it.
inner gut health, Josh, aren't you?
Yeah, that's true. Hey, you didn't complain, all right?
Hey,
When
I
I
was
was
prepared to
fucking
just eat mee goreng all
guts deep.
weekend, so whatever. Oh, dear. Anyway, we should probably leave it there because we've prattled on enough. But yeah, investigate for yourself. Check out some of these gun laws that are being imposed and see how ridiculous they are.
Yeah. Have a laugh.
Yep. As always, this
No.
is why we need groups like Firearm Owners United who actively push back.
Well, oh, no, I won't say that.
Were you going to make a joke about people actively pushing back?
Nah. Nah.
Was it sexual?
Nah.
Were you going to make a joke about that, Caleb?
I mean, I'm thinking that way now.
This is why we certainly couldn't be the voice of any political fucking party.
But look, I like to have fun, but I also have the switch I can flick and go all professional as well.
Yeah, but then you just get dry
then-
and boring as shit,
yeah.
and then people switch off listening to you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I feel like no one in politics is really that fun.
Bro, have you seen how they carry on at each other?
Oh, they're like children. But yeah.
Oh, man.
This is why things don't get achieved.
It's like 6 hours of carry on and 5 minutes of work. It's good. Maybe we would make good pollies. I can't talk, so right. Articulate myself. So I'm out.
It's starting to slip. We need to
I'm
continue
done.
this podcast for another hour. And it'll be funny.
Yeah, bro. Let's
Yeah.
do it.
We're not.
Not, but not.
It's fucking hot.
Oh, I use the fucking skirts
That's very
that
sexist.
male and females can wear.
That's true. I was going to say it was sexist, but you're right.
No, you're being sexist.
No, it's not derogatory because you can wear a skirt if you're a male or
Can
female.
kilts, mate? They're basically skirts.
But they're not, are they?
They kind of are.
But they're not. It's not a skirt, is it?
Just
Is it
pretty much
classified
a
under
skirt.
the actual category as skirts?
Mate, if it looks like a skirt, smells like a skirt, tastes like a skirt, it's a skirt.
You're going to smell a kilt and see if it smells like a skirt?
Oh, no.
Smells like fish finger.
Pretty sure kills would be smelling like ball sweat, bro.
Yeah. Well, probably not.
No, because
probably
I got
got
a
the
hair.
airflow.
Yeah.
It's actually quite.
Oh no, you're the Scottish fella here,
But have you seen me in a kilt ever?
Can we get kilts?
mate. It's because
I'd rock a kilt.
Let's get kilts.
Would you?
I would.
I'd rock a kilt hunting, actually.
You look ridiculous. Okay, done.
Let's
Buy me
do a
one.
hunting trip with
Buy
kilts.
me a camo kilt, bitch, and I'll wear it.
No,
No,
you
it's got to
gotta
be
wear
red, front, like red.
Yeah.
And I'm not wearing the
Flannel
fucking
hat.
my family tartan.
I'll buy you one, or we'll
No,
catch you and I'll buy you one. It's
let-
going to be a mini kilt.
I reckon we all buy a kilt.
It's going to be a mini kilt.
As long as it's pleated and as long as there's
Plated. I like the cut of your jib.
I'm not
Do
buying.
am I still wearing a sporran or is it just the fucking kilt? The sporran's the fucking thing on the front that looks like a bag.
It is a
With the
bag,
tassels.
isn't
I
it?
can't remember what goes in it.
Your balls?
Isn't it a bag? Like you put your weed in there or some shit?
I can't
See where your
remember,
wallet
eh?
goes?
What goes
Don't
in
they
a
have, like,
sporran?
metal
Can you
ones?
Google that before we leave? We're about to leave. Trust us. Like
We'll get there eventually.
we will. Like
No,
this is
where-
the slow decline.
What goes in the what?
Sporran. SPORRON. I'm pretty sure is how you spell sporran. Or AN. Yeah. It's
Coins.
a purse. It says that
Yeah,
for
it's
traditional
coins.
kilt outfits, sporran was born out of necessity. It's
Fire
a
making
pocket.
paraphernalia.
It's a pocket, basically.
and as well as oats and onions.
Do you know what would be cool, actually, because I'm a fucking sexual deviant? If your
That's a
dick
flap.
just poked
That's a
out
flap.
and, yeah, the spine was just a flap. So if you pull that aside, it's like your fucking built-in glory hole.
You're
to your
wearing
kilt.
a skirt, mate. Just pull it up.
Yeah, but that's a lot more material.
What if it's
And
cold?
less discreet. If you're just...
You're fucked.
Yeah, your little flap. would
Imagine
need
if
a
you could just
retention.
move your spine aside and your dick's there
You're,
ready
you're
to go.
the type of guy that's you buy your missus Macca's or something, and you cut a hole and put your dick in it, and like have the chip bag, the bag chips in the bottom. Walk along, and she grabs it.
Where'd you get that idea, Josh?
Wow. You have the chip bag, the bag chips in the bottom. What? Have your dick in the bottom of the bag? So
No,
if
you
she
cut
reaches
a
in...
hole out, and you put your dick in, and you got like your bag chips in the bottom, and you're like, there, have some chips.
And
You're that dude.
she reaches and grabs your dick.
It'd be way easier to do it with popcorn, man.
Well,
'Cause
she
you're
probably
sitting down
mistaken
generally.
it for a chip because it's that thin.
The one with the fucking boat called the Soggy Dorito. Just saying.
At least I got a boat, bitch. Ooh.
Speaking of, when are we fucking going out on the boat?
Look,
Sunday.
mate,
Too cold, isn't it?
I'm going to the range Sunday, so no.
This is why we never get out.
And
It's too
what-
cold or too hot.
No, whiting on the chew, so I'm going to get out. Squid's good, so I'm going to get out. So whenever you want, just say the word.
Monday.
We should start a new segment. Josh's fishing forecast.
I've been fishing heaps.
How's the wind?
Fuckers are just like, nah.
How's the wind?
Where's the
I
invite?
haven't been here.
Mate, I invited you and I went all the way to Sellex Beach and waited and no one rocked
Bro,
up.
this was 3 months ago.
No one rocked up, mate.
3 months ago.
I was sitting there with my missus and we're like, where are these clowns? Nah, let's just go.
No,
Stuff 'em.
you didn't.
Fuck this. I'm wrapping this up.
Nah.
Whatever.
I will hold this over your head forever.
You're used to things being held over your head because you're fucking short.
I've got a big dick, mate.
Big dick energy.
Great comeback.
Yeah, I don't know.
I've got a big dick, mate.
I'm thinking about holding it over your head and your head's up here, so my dick's over your head, so it's big, obviously.
I'm lost anatomically and emotionally. Wrecked.
Just get out of it.
Get out of yourself. You're the type of guy who just bend it around and fuck your own ass. And on that note,
too.
catch you next week.
You permanently chew. Oh, wow.
Gotcha.
No, I can't do it. Catch you later.
What was that word, Josh?
Prematurely.
Prematurely. Bye.
G'day, dude and dudettes. Josh here. Do you find it hard to keep your long, hard barrels free from gun STDs? Maybe you need a clean out of your bore. If this is you, jump on over to highcaliber.com.au and use the promo code SENDITMATE to receive a 10% discount on all your gun cleaning needs. And remember, it's sexy to support Australian-made products. Everyone here at Send It Mate uses High Caliber, and we can promise you that it'll keep your firearms free from those pesky gun STDs.